right now on Fox 6 News.
A legendary civil and human rights activist passes away. Tonight, we're remembering the enormous legacy that he leaves behind.
And here in the Fox 6 Storm Warning Center, it is a wet night tonight, and it looks like even wetter weather coming up for tomorrow and the work week.
Kicking for a cure, how a group of young middle school students in the Birmingham area are fighting multiple sclerosis.
Live in HD, this is Fox 6 News at 9.
A legendary figure in the civil rights movement has died. Julian Bond passed away last night. We're told his illness was very brief. John Huddleston joins us with more tonight. John?
Well, Vanessa, Julian Bond was so many different things. Charismatic, fearless, a champion not just for civil rights, but also for human rights. His loss is enormous, as is the legacy that he leaves behind. For more than 50 years, Julian Bond helped champion the fight for equality. In the 1960s, he gained prominence by co-founding the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Birmingham civil rights activist Bishop Calvin Woods met Bond way back when.
He was one of the most ambitious young men that I have ever seen. And we knew that he was going to climb the ladder of success.
They couldn't have been more right. Bond went on to become the chairman of the NAACP, and he also served in the Georgia State Legislature for 20 years. However, his first term was met with turbulence when his fellow lawmakers tried to block him from being sworn in. Bond said at the time his case was a clear example of why the U.S. government had to protect all people's civil rights.
The right to free speech, the right to dissent, the right to voice an opinion that may be unpopular.
In later years, Bond continued to blaze a trail while never forgetting the one he traveled. Every year, he would lead a civil rights pilgrimage that took him through Birmingham.
An amazing individual. I mean, a true giant, and I don't use that term loosely.
Former U.S. Attorney Doug Jones, who helped convict two former Klansmen for their roles in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, was often invited to speak to Bond's group. Sunday, Jones described him as a person who felt and fought deeply for those who were oppressed.
And it wasn't just across racial lines. It involved all manner of economic issues and gender issues. He was truly a man who cared deeply about people and their rights.
And Julian Bond was 75 years old. Tonight at 10, we hear from the people at the Southern Poverty Law Center in Montgomery, another group that Bond helped build from the ground up. Vanessa.
John, thank you. Well, let's see how your week is going to pan out. Chief Meteorologist JP Dice joining us tonight. JP, give us some good news, man.
What, are you into rain? If you're into rain, this is good news. This is going to be a wet week. It's kind of a yucky night out there. We don't have any storms or severe weather, but we are looking at some patches of heavy rain. And as we head into the next several hours, we're going to see that continue. We're going to be looking at a mainly quiet night after midnight. This is a live look at the radar view. Earlier today, we did have some stronger storms that popped up. Right now, we're seeing some heavy rain right there along Highway 231 between Harpersville and Pell City right now. All of that is tracking off toward the northwest. In Hamilton, where they had some torrential rain earlier today, had some pretty heavy rain yesterday as well. 72 degrees is the current temperature. And in Birmingham, we are looking at cloudy skies. Current temperature right now, 74 degrees. Expect some fog in that forecast. Overnight, we will have fog right on through maybe 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow, and more rain in tomorrow's forecast. In fact, it's going to be fairly wet tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, JP. A boat crash leaves a 79-year-old woman dead, and rescue teams are still searching for a man. This all happened in Lauderdale County after a boat collided with a barge in the Wilson Dam late last night. The body of 79-year-old Catherine Elcombe was found just after midnight. Authorities say all 8 people on the boat were thrown overboard. 6 of them were rescued by the barge's crew. They were taken to the hospital and were told they will be okay. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard and Marine Patrol are still trying to piece together how all of this accident happened.
This investigation will take an extended period of time. This is not going to be a quick process. We're talking several weeks into the months as far as the full investigation from both agencies. Right now, we're really not prepared to release exactly what happened, what the causative factors are.
As soon as more information is released on this fatal boating accident, we'll update you both on air and on our WBRC News app. In Winston County, a boating accident on Smith Lake claimed the life of 41-year-old Brian Toucher. Authorities say he drowned after he fell from a dock and became trapped underwater between his boat and a hybrid boat lift. That incident occurred at a home near the Corinth Recreation Center. Police are still looking for one person after a UAB student was carjacked in the 1500 block of 15th Street South. Police were able to catch one of the armed suspects, Courtney Lewis, after a brief foot chase. Lewis is now being charged with first-degree robbery. A second person, they say, is still on the run. And if you have any information about this, you are asked to call Birmingham Police.
Hey, ho, ho! These poverty wages got to go!
We could be hearing more about the city's minimum wage action in Tuesday's city council meeting. Right now, that issue is on the agenda. Last month, this rally was held in front of City Hall. Members of Raise Up Alabama and the Jefferson County Young Democrats were among the people asking the minimum wage to be changed from $7.25 an hour to $10.10. A little more than a decade ago, some overgrown farmland in Hoover was transformed into one of the top resorts in the country. Today, the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa celebrated a decade of being in business. The general manager of the resort said nearly 300,000 rounds of golf have been played, more than 100,000 massages have been given, and more than $27 million in tax revenue have been generated for that area.
This resort is helping transform the city of Hoover and the state of Alabama. It's world-class amenities that people literally come from around the world that before may not have come here.
Lang said that it is quite a popular spot for locals too. The resort currently employs more than 300 people. Kicking for a Cure, Mountain Brook Junior High students spent today raising money for the National MS Society. Megan Hayes was at the 4th annual kickball tournament. She joins us live with more. Megan, how did all this start?
Well, Vanessa, it's a really sweet story. Back in 2013, 4 students realized that 2 of their friends had moms suffering from multiple sclerosis, and they wanted to do something to help fight the debilitating disease.
Was formally diagnosed, started therapy right after our second son was born.
Lori Smith learned she had multiple sclerosis in January of 2001. She primarily deals with numbness and extreme fatigue.
Trigeminal nerve supply sensation to our face, and unfortunately with this there's tremendous pain that goes with it. So that's the thing I battle the most, and I've had a special procedure that deadened the nerve, so luckily I'm not feeling anything right now as far as pain.
Smith's son knows what it's like living with a parent with MS. He served as a captain on the kickball field Sunday.
It's an incredible thing for such young people.
The participants formed teams and held fundraisers.
Bake sales, restaurant nights, movie nights, and then come out here and have a fun day playing kickball against each other, and they have done a great job raising awareness and money.
Yeah, Bobby!
Smith is touched by the outpouring of support from the entire community. She says watching her son and his friends raise money to fight a disease that she lives with makes her one proud mama.
We want to make a difference. I think that's what's so unique to this age group, as our kids are growing up, that they really do want to do so much to help others. And so I think when you see all these kids out here, it really is about just community, about love, about helping others and service.
More than 100 students participated in that kickball fundraiser today. Organizers say they feel confident that the group raised more than $10,000. Vanessa?
Big renovations at the Birmingham Zoo. What changes you'll soon see. And in East Alabama, you can see artwork from one of the most recognizable artists, Andy Warhol. The latest on this new exhibit.
Tired of seeing this in my backyard. That's what one Birmingham resident tells me about the way she feels about all the abandoned apartments around her home. I'm Brandon Riggins. I'll have that story coming up.
You're watching the largest, most watched, most trusted news team in Alabama. Fox 6 News, on your side. You're watching Fox 6 News, part of the Raycom News Network, Alabama's news source.
Some big changes coming to the Birmingham Zoo. The current entrance will be closed and will be open at the current children's entrance. Now, all the ponds in the front park of the zoo will be drained, and the plants that are currently in the water will be relocated. Once the pond areas are filled in, the front area will contain a lawn and a new exhibit for you. The $18 million renovation will also expand the children's education area, and the gift shop will be moved closer to the new entrance.
It's going to be an expansive effort. It's actually going to push the front entrance out a little bit. It's going to have a long sweeping vista when you come in, as well as a really beautiful event lawn area that should be completed within about a year or so. And then on Wednesday, this will be closed, this entrance, and then our visitors will have to just go down the sidewalk here to the new entrance.
That entire project will be finished and opened by the first part of 2017. And visitors to the Cultural Arts Center in Gadsden will have a very rare treat for the next 3 months. A chance to see 6 original works of pop art icon Andy Warhol. From our Anniston newsroom, Fox 6 video journalist Dixon Hayes tells us more about the Andy Warhol exhibit.
You probably know Andy Warhol for works like his Campbell soup cans and his images of Marilyn Monroe. While most artists often shunned pop culture, Warhol embraced it.
While people are figuring out whether it's art or not, he said, I'm just going to make some more art and keep making it while they decide, because I'm going to turn out a factory and I'm going to create and create and create and create, and he did, and very prolific.
To celebrate its 25th anniversary, the Mary G. Hardin Center for Cultural Arts is now showing 6 of the 10 works in Warhol's 1981 Myths series. They're all icons like Santa Claus, Mickey Mouse, Uncle Sam, and Superman. Margaret Hamilton herself recreated her Wicked Witch role from The Wizard of Oz, and Warhol did a self-portrait as that old-time radio character, the Shadow. All are sprinkled with diamond dust.
You can see pictures of them, but until you see them for yourself, you know, it's different.
In honor of Warhol's iconic Campbell soup exhibit, people are being urged to bring in canned foods and other non-perishable food items for the Etowah County Food Bank.
We think it's a great opportunity for our community to help feed the hungry in our area, and also have a little bit of culture with the art with the Andy Warhol exhibit.
That food item or $1 will get you a chance to make a screen print in the center's Imagination Place. The rare chance to be face-to-face with Warhol's work will last until November 15th. From the Anniston newsroom, Dixon Hayes, Fox 6 News, on your side.
With the forecast for where you live, here's Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist J.P. Dice.
Good news out of all of this, with the rain and the cloud cover, if you didn't like the high temperatures in the upper 90s, we will be in the mid 80s this week. So it's not going to be sweltering hot. Just kind of stay weather alert Wednesday and Thursday.
Wear a hat and a raincoat the entire day is basically what you're saying. Don't do your hair or makeup.
Don't worry about that. Wear the proper shoes. The other thing is, between now and say Thursday this upcoming week, we may have a total of 3-4 inches of rainfall.
All right, the flowers will love it.
They will.
All right,
see ya.
Thanks, JP. All right, here's another reason to crack up laughing. New research out there says it's not just an old wives' tale. Laughter really is great medicine. Researchers say when you really laugh, it opens up your blood vessels, causing less stress on your heart. It can also de-stress the rest of the body by releasing endorphins from the brain. That's good because stress can make the brain overload with chemicals that could lead to high blood pressure, even a stroke, or a heart attack. And the best way to chuckle? Doctors recommend stay in touch with those you love and love being with. Studies have shown that people with a strong friend base are healthier, both mentally and physically.
This is Sheldon Haygood with Fox 6 Sports. Auburn lands a big-time basketball commitment. The Bucks enjoy Fan Day, and who takes the checker flag in NASCAR, we'll tell you later in sports. You're watching Fox 6 WBRC.
Here's Fox 6 Sports with Sheldon Haygood.
Congrats to Leeds, Alabama pro angler Aaron Martens. More sports in about 25 minutes or so.
Coming up on Fox 6 News at 9:30, an Indonesian airline carrying 54 people has gone missing. The latest on this developing story. And a man who had prayed at a Louisiana mosque in the past shows up waving a gun at people inside. We'll tell you how that situation ended. You're watching Fox 6 WBRC.